Now, the FCT joins the world to mark World Disaster Risk Reduction Day. FCT Emergency Management Agency has reiterated the commitment to reducing disaster for a safe and happy FCT by redoubling efforts to reduce its response time from 5 to 3 minutes. The Director General, FCT Emergency Management Agency, Alhaji Abbas Idris, made the statement in a media briefing as part of activities to mark this year's International Day for Disaster Risk Reduction in Abuja. Our correspondent, Holina Adojo, has the details.
Alhaji Abbas Idris says in spite of the heavy rains this year, there has been no loss of lives from flooding in the FCT. This, he revealed, is because of the deliberate measures put in place by the agency and the cooperation of FCT residents for heeding the early warning by NIMET. The FEMA DG revealed that according to predictions, more rains is anticipated this month, adding that through massive sensitization and education of residents, flooding will be averted.
Yes, there's going to be more flooding. Like you said, what are we doing? We will continue to strategize, which we are doing. We are putting in our best. We are always in the field, and we are also working together with the stakeholders. One beauty of it is that we are not alone. We can't do it alone. Our own is coordination, and we are giving the actual coordination, and then we are getting support from the stakeholders. You will see that there is involvement of more, even private sector, in this year's flood management in the FCT. And that is another addition to it that gave us a lot of success story. Initially, we don't involve them. The developers are part of it because we have to make sure that from your own estate, you also have some kind of housekeeping and ensure that all the construction companies, private sector developers, as well as businessmen are involved in managing the flood in the FCT.
Speaking on the theme for this year's celebration, Early Warning, Early Action by All, Acting Director, Forecasting, Response and Mitigation, FEMA, Mrs. Florence Wenegeme, says involving all stakeholders, equipment and technical expertise will greatly reduce the impact of disaster in the FCT.
By all simply means that people, starting from people from the grassroots, school children, everybody in the world, all the citizens of Nigeria in particular, and people with disability. And that is why we have the CBM and Survive Festula with us today. You will see that we had somebody who was interpreting in the sign language during the press conference with the Director General, which simply means that we have disability inclusive disaster risk reduction, which will go a long way in helping people with disability when disasters occur.
Also speaking, Mr. Innocent Alubo Onyema of CBN enumerates the roles played by his organization in disaster reduction.
We work in neglected tropical diseases. We also do humanitarian actions, and we also implement community-based inclusive development program. Today is a wonderful day for us in the stakeholders of disaster risk reduction. CBN key into this program because of the need to include persons with disability.
As the world grapples with climate change, it is no longer news that human activities is one of the major causes of disaster. FCT FEMA has called on residents to report cases of disaster through its emergency toll-free number and has assured that it has redoubled efforts to reduce its response time from 5 to 3 minutes. Holina Adojo, ASO Television News.